So, trigger warning, I'm going to be talking about a sensitive topic, and I just want to let you know in case you want to skip this video. Hi, my name is Dr. Natalie Jones. I'm a licensed therapist, and one of the things that I became aware of or alerted to over the weekend was the news release of the online rape academy. This is where uh, men are giving tutorials about how to uh, do things to women while they were unconscious. And so what they've done, and I'm sure I'm only scratching the surface here of the extent of it, is they posted non-consensual videos, pictures, um, advice, tutorials on how to take advantage of a woman while she is unconscious. And that includes uh, what sort of substances to give her, how to do it, and so on and so forth. And just I wish that I could say that I'm surprised, but I'm not. Given the nature of just sex crimes that we have uncovered just even in the past year, I'm not surprised by this. Plus, a number of men, are in prison for things like this. So I, I think one of the things that I wanted to say is people will go to any extent to have control over you, to humiliate you, and people want to have control over you as it relates to sex because of a God complex. They want to be in control. They don't want to ask for permission to do things with you, and frankly, they don't want to feel pressure to have emotion or intimacy when they are having sexual relations with you. They want to do what they do, get what they need to get, and move on. But they also want to feel powerful and in control, which is one of the reasons why I think porn is so popular these days, because people feel powerful and in control without having to worry about, the pleasurable aspect of it. But a lot of it is related to feeling like I can do whatever I want, whenever I want, and however I want, and I don't need to ask for permission or get consent. Not only that, I can get admiration, I could get cheered on by my peers and things like that. People can look at me as an expert for said activities. And I think the other aspect of it is there's this extends beyond wives, it's wives, girlfriends, baby mamas, any partners and things like that. You might have dated someone casually. So I think it extends to all of those categories of you. There are women out there who this has happened to and they have no idea. There's also another category of women out there who have had conversations with their partner, or maybe who haven't had conversations with their partner. So maybe they consented to, oh, yeah, you can wake me up by having sex with me. Or, if you get this hankering in the middle of the night, you could certainly do that. Or just you have sort of woken up to your partner having intimacy with you and you don't even know about it. I think even if you have the notion that you have maybe given consent, or you've woken up and you participated and you maybe have been aroused, one of the things that you may want to stop and think about is, why is it that your partner needs to, or why is it that your partner feels the need to get it on with you while you're unconscious? What is that about? Is that, oh, because he just can't keep his hands off of you, or is there something else going on? And I'm certainly not saying that there's nothing wrong with, having relations in the middle of the night. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, what's going on with you waking up to someone having relations with you while you were unconscious and you didn't know. You can't say what happened. The first 5 minutes. You can't say how long this has been going on. You just sort of woke up with this person doing this to you. You also want to ask yourself, how does your partner feel about you if he wants to do things that you are not awake and involved in at every aspect of doing that, and therefore giving consent every time? And this is certainly um, something that is not, um, it's not a one-off. This isn't like a rare occurring event. There have been men who have been doing this for many years. So one example of this, which they made a movie about, is Andrew Luster, the heir to Max Factor makeup company. So this was something which he did for several years and was able to evade capture for quite some time because of it. There have been other celebrity men who have gotten in trouble for things very similar. So this isn't something that is a rare occurrence of anything. I think it's more widespread. And, you also have to think how comfortable, these men feel to be able to go online and share this and take pictures and videos and things like that. And, if they're taking pictures and videos of themselves doing this to you, you also have to ask, what does this mean about me? That person doesn't care what happens to you if he's willing to post you online in front of, God knows how many strangers, where you might be able to be recognized on the street. But also, it could be an open invitation of, if this man does this to you, how many other, then that's like an open invitation for any other man to do this to you. I can only imagine how devastating it is for the women who may be notified or may find out at a later date. I pray that everybody that this happens to, gets the help that they need and that they can recover from this. There have been celebrity women who have recently found out that this has happened to them, and they found out through, random notifications and had mental breakdowns and the like. So this is horrific, to say the least. And I'm trying to put it, as gently as I can, you know, and so there's no words. I do think that people need to be more proactive. People being lawmakers. This is what our tax money should cover: is the protection of people, women and children should be protected by this. Sooner rather than later. We pay a lot of money in taxes for this type of stuff. And so people deserve to be protected by this. And, my heart goes out to, again, I just can't, my heart goes out to all the women that are affected by this. And so, it's not okay. So, thanks, for, so some of my followers alerted me to this. So I hope this helps. And I definitely want to keep the conversation going. And I definitely something that I want to personally be more proactive about, stopping stuff like this. So thanks so much. Hope this helps. Happy Sunday.